Okay. Now, hello, it's me. I am back. I am indeed back. Um, did you end up doing the thing with the red bean yesterday? I did a thing with the red bean yesterday, but I'm expanding it a little bit more today. What can the red bean do now? You want it to find your green bean? It can find either my green bean or an ally bean, but once it locks in on one bean, it cannot switch its target to a different one. So that's what I'm working on today, for now at least. You like the beans? I also do like the bean. There should be a yellow bean at some point. Maybe. Maybe a yellow bean is somebody you can interact with, but not recruit to your party. Or maybe even somebody who's not yet part of your party. Like a trader? Maybe. Hmm. Will there be like shops? Given the environment and like the vibe of the game, I can't imagine there will be shops per se, but maybe like wandering traders. Oh. Okay. Is this going to a thought? Yellow beans could be like stuff you can forage for stuff. Maybe. Maybe. Foraging is a ways out. Okay. Let's do a private pool. Can target equals can you add wandering good boys that you can pet? Maybe. It'd be good for virality, I think. And who knows, maybe in the future you'll even be able to find good boys you can tame and have them join your party. Maybe they can help you hunt food. I don't know. OMG, big good boys. Yes. Like wolves, like wild dogs. I don't know. Hold on, hold on. Should I have gotten a notification from your Discord channel? That's what I'm working on right now. I don't know why it didn't go out, so I'm just gonna throw it out there right now. I got ads. Were you yapping? I didn't hear anything. Yeah, I was just I was figuring out why the automation didn't work. Hello, Alien Pope. Welcome in. Okay, I hear you now. Yeah. I was also just not yapping for a second. Um, did you say anything about the Discord thing? I didn't get a notification. Um, yes. The automation didn't work for whatever reason, and also in the Get Roles channel, you need to select that you want to get announcements. That's not how you do a coroutine. How do you do a coroutine again? Hello, K-Dubs. Welcome. Gotta go sleep. Just want to say hi real quick. Well, welcome. Hello. I'm glad you're here. Okay, back. Good. I just wanted to say thank you for rolling in. Don't forget your check-ins, please. How's the coding going? We're just getting started. The gears are moving slowly. Thank you for the check-ins. I appreciate you coming in. There's another one in this project somewhere, right? Still the same thing. We coding something different. We're working on something similar. It's still within the same project, but just expanding the enemy AI a little bit. So right now, what we've got going on is we've got our allied blue beans, and we've got our enemy red bean. Yes, more small people. I hope you have a good day at work. Yes. Facing this again. Make sure that's totally it. That is totally 100% it. Thank you. No, don't want to generate the type. Using systems.collections. And then we need yield return wait for seconds. And what did I name that variable? Retarget cooldown. Yes. Thank you. I.e. numerator, not enumerable. Non-invocable member. What? New. Wait for seconds. There we go. Yeah, thank you. You're the bird guys in Morning Gandalf. Indeed. It's like, man, I've been stuck at this problem. I don't know what's going on. And then out of nowhere, oh, you need this. Like, oh, yeah, I do. Thank you. Thank you, Gandalf. Arrow! Good morning. Welcome. How are you doing? You know what? Arrow, you get a shout out. Thank you. Thank you for rolling up. I've been up all night again. Well, now that you're caught up in One Piece, there's nothing for you to watch. I'm joking. Of course there is. What have you been watching? Crazy Anxiety. I'm sorry to hear that, my guy. If you want to talk about it, this is a safe space. But of course, if you don't, that's totally fine. You can hit me in a DM if you want. My voice sounds different because I'm a little sick. I was sick throughout my entire vacation. He's growing up. Oh my god. I finally hit puberty. Yeah, no, I was sick throughout my entire vacation, so I'm still a little nasally congested. But it was much worse. It's about time. Your mic is so close to your mouth. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Is this better? I moved it closer when Arrow rolled up. Traveling when sick sucks. It does, but you know what? I still had an amazing time. Um, at the start of the trip, I was like violently sick, but then we both just got really bad colds. There was a lot of stuff going around in Asia, so it's what it works. It's what happens. Um, Now after this, we're gonna set can target equals true. Boom. So basically, after actually, no, we're gonna set can target equal to false here. Oh wait, no, we already did that. What? What is going on? No, it didn't ruin the trip at all. It's like your body gives up when you're on holiday, 100%. It was still amazing. We just took more breaks between doing things, ate a lot, and still had fun. Totally. Yeah, my wife took 2 weeks off work for my birthday the other day, and has been sick the entire time. I'm so sorry about that. Happy belated birthday, though. That's awesome. Of course, there's the age-old question: do you feel older? I think I'm now 63. 2 years away from getting your seniors discount and being allowed to play bingo with the other oldies. Let's see. Does this work? What's going on? Oh, well, I didn't actually start the coroutine, did I? And then probably what I want to do if can target. We're gonna start the coroutine here. Go retarget cooldown. She lived in Sweden. Being sick during vacation lets you convert those to sick days and use your vacation when you're well again. That's sick! Can't wait to get to bingo night with my old ladies. Sounds like they have so much fun. 100%. It sounds like this distant magical land where you have an IKEA on every corner. Yeah, this is America. No one cares about you, your sick time, or really anything about you except you can show up to work. Oh, and pay your taxes. Yeah, we have that too. If you have a good boss. Yeah. The sick time. Yeah, fair enough. America, our healthcare system wouldn't give a heck either. Fair enough. I don't know. I'm quite the fan of our medical system here, but it has its problems. They'll let you refund your annual leave. Um, if you have a good boss, they'll let you refund your annual leave totally. Oh man, sounds amazing. Could live in an IKEA. You could. Are you though, bird guy? Am I what? I mean, like, living in IKEA makes total sense. Let's be honest. There's kitchens, there's bathrooms, there's Swedish meatballs there's Swedish meatballs if for some reason the kitchens aren't working. There's beds. Happy with the medical system. It saved my life. So I quite enjoy it. Oh, you can sleep in different bedrooms every night. That's so true. Does the plumbing work at IKEA? Almost certainly not. Okay, we're starting this coroutine now. So, he still wants my blood. You don't need plumbing, you'll be fine. I mean, when you have like 30 different toilets to choose from and the staff will clean it up by the next day, don't worry about it. Gotta go to bed, have a great day. Good night, K-Dubs. Thank you for rolling in. Alright, I need to get ready for work, for real. I leave the stream on though. Yes. Thank you. Yes, bye friends. Take care. They totally won't kick you out having to clean all the toilets. No, of course not. Why would they? They also like have bathrooms, I imagine. Like the only IKEAs we have here in Canada, they're like colossal. However, we went to Korea while we were we went to Korea. We went to an IKEA while we were in Japan, and it was quite small. It makes sense because it's Japan and it was like in a mall, but still worth noting. You're still here though? Oh, what a delight. I'm so thankful you're here. What's going on? What am I doing? I am debugging why this is not retargeting. Oh, because we're checking if you can retarget, and if you can target, you detect entities. So then you detect entities. You're setting can target to false. And then you're starting the coroutine retarget cooldown. If target equals null. Totally, targets and code and stuff for sure, Yes, of course. Arrow, our game right now, we have We have our blue beans, which are allies, and they follow you. They're very loyal. Um, and then we have this angry red bean that, if you get too close, will attack you. Right now I'm trying to figure out how I can have him retarget and hit the other beans. But he don't wanna. Oh, wait. No, he did. It worked. Did he? I don't know. Hold on. Retarget cooldown. Let's set it to like 3 seconds. Reminds me of Pikmin. I've only played a little bit of Pikmin because it was a lot harder than I thought it would be. And I was very young. Is it just taking too long to retarget? Wait. Why are these beans stopping? That was weird. If target equals null. Well, on every frame, we are. It starts off as can target. Can target is true. And then so we're always hitting this, right? In other words, target equals null. And then in detect entities, we are down here. We're setting our target on this line to our closest target, and then we're setting can target to be equal to false. Then we start this coroutine where, oh, wait a minute, are we actually, after this wait for seconds, you need to change the if statement, if target equals null, to if can target, I'm pretty sure. It is for now. And then we have this other if target does not equal null. Move to your target. That's what I got. Line 62. Oh. Thank you. That is totally it. I agree with Alien Pope. I do too. He's my Gandalf. Okay. So he's targeting. And then he's targeting the other beans, I think. Get him, boys. It works! Get him, boys! Fool of a took. I've recently started listening to Fellowship of the Ring. Just 1 second. Hello. I watched the entire trilogy probably 30 times last year alone. Hold on. Hold on a second. Like, that's admirable, but how many times is that? Each movie is what? 3 hours long? 9 times 30. 270 hours. That actually doesn't seem that bombastic. But if that's true, Arrow, you spent 11 days of your life watching Lord of the Rings, which honestly isn't the worst thing in the world. I watch the trilogy probably once a year at least. I can't help it. Some movies I can just watch over and over and over. I get it. I get it. The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter series, and The Nightmare Before Christmas are just a few. Okay. What I'm about to say might lose me a bunch of followers, but I have seen Fellowship of the Ring probably about 8 or 9 times. I have seen The Two Towers maybe like 2 or 3 times. I've never finished Return of the King. I always get in these situations where I meet up with friends like, oh, fuck yeah, let's watch all the fucking Lord of the Rings movies. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. It'll be great. I've never actually finished the third one. And so then we watch Fellowship of the Ring. And it's like, okay, well, next week we watch The Two Towers. And then nobody can ever commit to watching Return of the King. And it is, I haven't seen it. But I'm listening to the book now. Oh, the extended versions are, of course, you need to watch the extended edition. I will. I promise you I will. I think I have them, actually. I don't know if I have the extended edition, but I found them at a thrift store here not that long ago. Well, maybe it was a long time ago, a few years ago. Do it or else. Or else what? You're gonna come up here to Canada and beat my ass? But have you read the book, Sarah? Alien Pope? Alien Pope. If you would prefer for me to call you Alien or Pope, just let me know. But I'm totally content calling you Alien Pope as well. I will travel to Twitch headquarters and get my sub refund one way or another. Understood. Is this your emote, Arrow? It doesn't look like it. You can call me Alien Pope, Pope, Alien, or Alex. Okay, will do. Thank you. Have you read the Iliad? No. No, I have not. I don't know what it's about. I'm sorry. But Tom Barbadil in Fellowship of the Ring, when I was at that part in the book, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? I don't remember him. He wasn't in the movie, was he? And sure enough, he wasn't. Or the Odyssey? No, I haven't. I have not. It's a classic, though. Yeah? Let's see. What were we doing? We finished the retargeting, so why don't we just check that in? Get stats. Boom. Okay, let's pull that into main. Boom. Tell me about Iliad and the Odyssey. Now, what's next? I think it might be time for something a little bit more advanced. Oh, dude, it's been years since I've read them. I was thinking about revisiting them. Okay, okay. What's the general vibe then? If you can't remember the details, give me like the TLDR. I think we might move on to something like procedural generation, maybe. Amazing Greek Lord of the Rings, basically. Say less. I will see if it's available at my library. What do you guys think? Should I expand this AI a little bit more so that I can actually shoot down the red bean, or shall I start moving into procedural generation? I want fights. Okay, understood. Understood. So we are going to Apollo Odysseus, the Greek hero of Ithaca, and his 10-year struggle to return home after the Trojan War. All right. Okay. I do enjoy myself Greek mythology. Have you read the Book of Five Rings? That's the book written by the swordsman in Japan who never lost a duel, right? Because I have it and I've read a little bit of it, but I get shiny object syndrome and start reading something else. Yes. Yeah, it's super fascinating. I have a small book that is a combination of the Book of Five Rings and The Art of War. And I should read it. Really should. Okay, so what we're gonna do. Hello! First time chat. Welcome in, Lorenzo Game Dev. Right now, we were working on AI retargeting, but that's actually done. So we're gonna do attack hit detection. That's what we're working on. So let's do this. We're gonna go to get branch. Tell me, Lorenzo, where do you come from? How did you find my channel? And presumably you are a game dev. Tell me about your project. What are you working on? Get echo minus b. Projectile hit detection. Just going through some software development on Twitch. Well, thank you. Thank you for rolling up and coming into my stream. Same as me, yes. That's how I met. That's how I met Alien Pope, and he's turned into my Gandalf. He is helping me a lot. And you're from Italy. I've been. My uncle lives in Italy, and I went. He lives in Lago di Como, so I went on a month-long trip in Italy, visiting all of the northern half. Amazing place. I love it. I'd love to go back. Your uncle is rich? Um, I don't know, if I'm being completely honest. He is in sales, so he could be. Maybe his company pays for his accommodations. I don't know. I've been to Italy twice, probably two of my favorite trips. It's amazing. I always say Italy and Japan are the two places that chefs go to die. The food in Italy is unparalleled in other forms of Western cuisine. I can confirm 100%. Japan and Italy are two must-go places. Totally. Totally. Anybody who is perfectly content with never leaving their country are they warp my mind. I don't understand. The world is full of people and different cultures and different foods that if you have no desire to see that, I I don't understand. I can't even leave my state. If it's a money thing, I get it. But do you want to go to like France or do you want to go to Canada, Mexico? Yeah, sadly most people can't leave because of money. Exactly. That's the problem, right? Like it's expensive. Um, thousands of dollars really. Oh yeah, I have a big list of places. That's fine. That's fine. But if you're like, "Oh yeah, I'm in California. I don't really. I'm fine here. I'm content. I don't wanna. I don't wanna go to Uruguay. I don't wanna go to fucking Europe." It's like, what? Why? Why? Restaurants all over the world I want to try. There is a there is a Michelin restaurant in the U.S. actually that I want to go to so badly. But of course, it's a Michelin restaurant. One is expensive, and two, traveling is expensive. Street food all over the world. Era, if you're looking for to travel on a budget, go to Thailand. They have street food everywhere, and it'll cost you like 30 cents for a whole meal. It's incredible. Maybe one day. Rachel and I, shortly after we started dating, we went to Thailand for a couple of weeks, and the most expensive part of our 2 week trip was the plane ticket. Italian food is usually pretty easy to cook at home. Being in Italy, I'd imagine so. Like, you probably have some of the best pasta, um, balsamic vinegar, and olive oil out there. I think when we move, if we ever get to move up to Michigan, we're going to visit Canada a lot more. Even though Canada is kind of upset with us at the moment. Yes, yes, we are. Um, I don't want to get too into the politics, but yeah. You can surely find Italian products in America. Yes, yes. I'm from Canada, and we can find Italian products here too. I don't blame you. Yeah, it you know, it's the bigger powers, right? Bigger powers doing things that are hurting the people, and we don't have control over it. Yeah, man, we're just numbers. Mostly. But it's the way it be. It's the way it always has been. Is that pessimistic? Is that... Like, am I wrong in saying that? Lorenzo, you are a game developer. How long have you been in games? Have you been just fiddling with hobby projects, or do you work in like AAA? What's your thing? Okay, we're on a new branch. We're going back. Let's go to our assets. Our missile asset is a collider. Of years, freelancing and hobbyist, mostly on Unity. Nice, 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 nice. You know what's crazy though? This will this will all be so far in the past one day, and no one will remember what happened in the year 2025. Possibly. It's quite possible. It's possible that this is just going to be a speed bump in the grand scheme of things, but it's also possible that this would be a world-shaping event. Possibly. World War III? Buddy, we're already there. People are just afraid to call it that. Hundreds of thousands of years from now, no one will have any clue. True. This is true. To my European folk out there, how are you feeling right now? How has the wars out there shaped your lifestyle and your life? Do you watch Vsauce? I used to, not much anymore though. I do love Vsauce. Lately my YouTube feed has been like, oh, like AI, war, politics. Like, man, I want to get back to like knowing about the random shit. Because I've been watching a ton of his videos, and man, it leaves me with so many questions. They're great at stimulating curiosity, which I feel is one of the core... Curiosity is one of the core essences of consciousness. Oh, dude, my entire YouTube is politics, and it bums me out. Yeah, I gotta start engaging with other content that's not politics and war and whatnot. I watch zero news on YouTube and it still forces it on me. Yeah, man. If it drives engagement, it's gonna throw it in your face. That's the way it works. Also, it doesn't help that they're US corporations and they're probably trying to force US propaganda down your throat, pushed by lobbyists. Maybe. I don't know. I don't want to get too political. Algorithm bad! Being close to Russia, I feel worried. Sweden and Finland might be next. I doubt it will happen, but Russia has been provoking us all the time. Flying military jets over our country, threats and the sort. That's it. Right? It's always like, oh, it's a training exercise. Oh, it's we're just flexing our military might to make sure that you all recognize we're the big guys, you're the little dogs, right? I'm sorry. That must be so terrifying. I can't imagine, right? Like, I'm fortunate enough to live in Canada where we live a very peaceful lifestyle. Yeah, man, the world is a scary place. Not how I remember it when I was younger. When I was younger, sure, we heard about wars and stuff like that, but because the information age and social media was still so young, you heard about these things, but it wasn't as in your face as it is today. There's always been war, always. But now that you open up your phone, you can see something from anybody, and everyone's talking about the same thing. Everywhere you turn, it's there. It's a scary place right now. But best we can do is just be about ourselves, right? Just worry about ourselves and those we love. Not sure how, not how I saw my future, to be honest, 100%. Do you think one day war will be mainly done by be drone warfare? Yes. Yes, 100%. I think warfare is already headed to the state of mostly drone warfare. But autonomous weaponry scares me. I'm a big advocate for AI. I do think that AI is going to do wonders for the world, economy, and general quality of life. But as soon as the big leaders and warmongers of the world decide to weaponize it, we're cooked. I've been encountering a lot of Ukrainian refugees here too. So in a way, while I haven't been to Ukraine, you see the impact the war has. I get that. Holy moly. Like I can't relate per se because we don't really have a lot. I've met a handful of Ukrainian refugees here. But being so close, I can imagine you see it all the time and it must be gut-wrenching. I would like to see a robot army fight some kind of fight in some field like it's a sport. That would be cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Gladiatorial fights are wrong. It was a dark stain in humanity's past. But if you go to like a university racetrack, you dress up some robots in like old school battle gear and have them just fucking go to town on each other, that would be the most fascinating shit. Just want to hug them. But I also don't want it to be weird. I get that. I get that. Sometimes you see people and they look like they're having the worst day. It's like, look, bro, bring it in. But at the same time, it would be really weird to offer that to somebody. Like, could you imagine you're going through like a breakup or something like that, and you just want to mind your own at a coffee shop. You want to sit down, wallow in self-pity, and sip your Americano, and then go out. But some other person's like, hey, can I give you a hug? You're like, no, I don't want to be touched. Thank you, actually. It's kind of crazy being in North America because we aren't, because wars aren't really fought here. True. So we never worry about our borders like Europe does. Oh, we worry about our borders just over stupid shit. I dread we will see a war here. We take that for granted a lot. Yes, like the Canada-US border is the largest undefended border in the world, right? And that is truly a statement of peace, right? It's fairly peaceful here, but I dread that it won't be that way for much longer. Let's give Can I put this thing on multiple layers? No. Whatever happens with between our two governing powers, we can still be friends. Of course. I don't hate Americans. I don't hate America. I just don't like the bigwigs. That's all. Like, your leaders, our leaders, they don't have our best interests at heart, is the thing, right? We're getting political now. Sorry, fellas. Yeah, and trust me, I have a lot of complaints about us too, but that's a good thing. Of course, it's very important to be critical of yourself and your people. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. New follower. Thank you, Lorenzo. Thank you for following. I so greatly appreciate that. Yeah, we're working on game development here. I quit my job a couple days ago to pursue Twitch and game development full time. It's still a work in progress. I'm meeting with my bosses today to discuss handoff plans, but this is going to be my life from now on. I'm glad you're here. Whenever I feel hate towards a country, it's always towards leaders, never the people. We're all the same. Sometimes people in power just sucks. Yes. Yep. When as the saying goes, power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. So that's why you said life has been a little weird lately. Jeez, dude, you just dove head first. Yes. Yes, I did, but, and that is why life is a little weird lately. I dove head first, but I have my reasons. I'm not doing this just because, like, oh, I'm gonna make it fucking big as a streamer. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna pay all my bills with my Twitch streams. It's not it. I'm not doing this for the money. It is a good quote. I do love that quote. Arrow, if you want to get into the details, we can. But, yeah, that's why life is a little weird lately. How am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? I could put this on a layer. What if I make it a trigger? If I make it a trigger, it'll pass through my... It'll pass through objects. But yeah, for now, let's worry about red beans invading instead. Yes. Yes, I agree. Things have turned a little bit dark. So let's turn away from this big scary world back to red beans and chatting about stuff. You can share whatever you feel comfortable with, whatever you want to, whenever you want to talk about. It's your channel. I'm here to listen, of course. I don't know, man. I'm looking for food at the moment. Okay, what are you looking for? Are you looking for like something on like Uber Eats, Skip the Dishes, or are you like rummaging through pantry stuff? But it's been really weird, man. It's just been like I went on a month-long vacation, which was a long time, and I'm paid hourly. So when I'm not working, I'm not making money, right? And I've been working with this company for 3 years, or a little over 3 years, and 2.5 of those years, this company has been in dire straits. Like, working from investor paycheck to investor paycheck, and the bank account is dry. So they don't have money, and they don't have money to give me a raise. So I'm being paid the same amount of money I was being paid 2 years ago, which in today's economy kind of sucks, right? And right before I left on my vacation, one of my bosses, one of the founders of the company, was like, "Hey, can I have a one-on-one with you?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. What's up, bro?" And she was like, "Look, I really hope you have a great vacation, and I hope you have a great time. It's gonna be so much fun." And I was like, "Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to my vacation. Why do you? What's up?" And then she was just like, I just really hope that there's still something good for you to come back to. And immediately I was like, ah, fuck me. All right, it's time. It's over now. Like, but so yeah, when I came back, I was expecting an 8-hour workday. Instead, I was asked to work 2 and then clock out. I was like, fuck that, bro. I'm done. This is it. Sheesh. Yeah. Yeah, it was a weird time. But you know what? I just thought, embrace the weird. The time is now. Um so many applications sent out. So any application sent out, or are you taking a break from that life for a moment? Um a little over. The tech industry is really weird right now. Um Back in 2018, 2019, when I had first started going to university and getting into the tech industry, money was flowing in the tech industry like fucking crazy. If you had a pulse and knew how to program, you would get a job. But by the time I graduated, things started looking a little bit different, right? There was a lot more people graduating from computer science that were qualified to get a job, and it was hard to get a job. It was harder. But I was very, very lucky in that I landed a contract right after I graduated. Like a month after I graduated, I was working on a project. Um, yes, from what I understand, it's just massively oversaturated. That's one part of the problem. Another part of the problem is that AI is making it drastically easier for people with experience to take on the work of like 10 other people who have little, right? So there's just less demand for inexperienced programmers. Um, and money. Right now, the economy's kind of in turmoil. So it's harder for tech companies to justify making a several tens of thousands of dollars investment on somebody with less experience. Um, so last summer, or maybe the summer before that, I was sending out job applications like, yeah, I'm done here. I want to find another job. It's going to be great. Um, I'm done here. I want to find another job at a company that's a little bit more stable. And I sent out over 150 job applications. I heard back from one company. The company was based out of Japan, and it was in a technology I didn't know. It's so hard. It's so hard for people in tech right now to get a new job. Unless you're working at a major company, moving to another company, it's hard. Not the 8 AI 2, that's rough. It it is. It is, but it's in the grand scheme of things, it's a good thing. It's hard that it's starting to take people's jobs, but it's going to skyrocket the world's economy and quality of life to the fucking moon when it's there. It's like law degrees in the 90s in America. Huge influx of law grads. It was hard to land a job. Exactly. It's supply and demand, right? Yeah, it's hard to afford new tech, man. 100%. 100%. The cost of technology, especially in a world where big corporations are swallowing up all of the tech chips for their projects, and you're trying to buy consumer electronics. It's like, well, there's not enough of these chips to go around, so you're going to pay top dollar for them. I watched the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas this year. All the new and cool stuff is directly marketed towards rich folks. Yeah, that's the way it is nowadays. PC gaming is becoming a nightmare too. I'm thankful that when I built my latest PC, I built a fucking monster. Like, this thing is At the time that I built it, at least, it was very capable. But, yeah, I won't be building a new PC anytime soon. It's expensive. We've got some game developers up in here. What do you guys think about the now settled Pal World and Nintendo lawsuit? It's a little bit of a mic drop. I'll wait for you to type out your responses. Nvidia raises prices for a GPU every year. They started doing this limited production bullcrap. So they make the cards in small batches and force demand up. Didn't follow it too closely. I never played nor Pokemon nor Pal World. Yep, fair enough. Basically the crux of the lawsuit was a patent dispute where Pokemon patented the idea of throwing an object into a field to capture a creature. And that was a mechanic in Pal World, so they're like, you can't do that. It infringes on our patent. And I just think that's gross. Japanese businesses are ruthless. It is, and it's a cultural thing. It's a cultural thing, and it comes from like familial norms. Like businesses in Japan are seen as your family, at least at a corporate level, right? And your intellectual property is yours, and anybody who even like steps close to it is making an aggressive move. I couldn't survive Japanese work culture. Me too. Nintendo has been notorious to be super stingy about patents. Yes, yes, and it's patents in the game industry are weird. Like, how can you, like, I understand patenting a light bulb. I get that. It's like, look, I made this revolutionary new invention. I don't want other people to steal up this idea and profit from my invention. I get that. But when you're patenting an idea, that's scuzzy. I don't like that. Raycan TV from Pizza Party. Thank you for checking in. Glad to have you here. We're talking about Nintendo and Pal World and all that stuff. Glad to be here. First time chat. You've been here before, haven't you? It's your first time chatting. Well, I'm glad you're here. Thank you. How's your day going so far? I hope you are having an amazing day. Where were we? We're making this missile a trigger. Is trigger. And let's remove it from the layer ignore player because we put that in so it wouldn't move the player around. And let's see, this is still shooting. And it passes through that bean. Okay. Okay, I have something I wanted to tell you about. It's not very interesting. Anything is interesting if you make it interesting. Tell me about it. Oh, there's ads. I'm sorry. Is this game designing or coding? It's both, kind of. Right now, it's so early, it's mostly coding and figuring shit out. You probably don't play golf. I used to, a little bit. But in the last years, this new tech has been getting popular. They're called launch monitors. I'll be back after ads. Okay. Okay. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go into our assets and our scripts, and we're gonna go to our missile controller. Ah, that one didn't work. Eh. Did that work? I don't remember. I don't think that worked. Huh. Did I start the coroutine? Yes, I did, after it's awake. Awake. Awake is called when the script instance is being loaded. Yield, return, new, wait for seconds, missile lifespan. The destroy call is wrong. Okay. Your I see. Thank you. This dot game object. Yes, 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 yes. Thank you. I thought that was wrong. I was like, that destroy call doesn't look right. Gandalf, always here to help. Indeed. Thank you, Gandalf. Boom. It's done. Anyway, okay, we're back. Thank you for sticking through the ads. You are paying the bills for this game. Like I've said in my recent streams, 100% of the revenue from this stream is directly reinvested back into the stream and the game. My most recent Twitch payout was put towards a Discord bot for my Discord channel. As per the recommendation of Alien Pope, actually. Thank you. Anyways, about launch monitors. Tell me more. Yes, of course. I am new to this streaming thing. I've been here for a few months, but I'm looking for feedback from my community all the time for how I can make this better for you guys. Your satisfaction is my success. They use lasers and cameras to watch the golf ball, and it can instantly tell you all kinds of numbers. Ball height, spin, speed, club angles, all kinds of in-depth info in literally a second or two. That's fucking amazing. Like, imagine what that will do for the golf scene in general, right? It will grant better insights of like, okay, well look, when I make this stroke this way, it adds spin on the ball like this, and it changes the trajectory of the ball in that way. And in the future, how that's going to change is going to be like, oh, this is how you did it. If you want to modify this, change this about your stroke. Of course, it's going to be a ways off until there, but that's what it's going to be like, right? How hard is how hard is something like that to program? Something that uses laser and camera to take in data? That's a great question that I'm not sure I have much of an answer to. The answer is hard. The answer's fucking hard, really. But if I were to approach that problem, so what I would do is I would have the thing about tracking the ball with a laser is that you'd need to have a camera that can detect the ball, and using computer vision, it would see the ball, track the white pixels, and make sure that the camera is always trained on the biggest cluster of white pixels. That is not the snow. It needs to first identify the ball and follow that same cluster of white-ish pixels. Then you need to shoot that with a laser. So early gen models used stickers on the golf club and the ball as trackers. That's handy. That's really handy. New models coming out don't need the stickers anymore because technology is getting so much better. That's it. Okay, so we got the stickers. Well, you can, if we're talking about the sticker approach, the sticker would help you track the ball as it moves through the air. But then to calculate spin and stuff like that, each frame that the camera captures, it would calculate, okay, well, the sticker on the ball has moved this much. So we can calculate that it turned this many degrees in the amount of time it took from the last frame. And using that, you can kind of say like, oh, it's spinning at this speed, and its height is this compared to, like, you can see how far away the ball is based on that sticker as well, and also based on the laser, right? So the cheapest one launch monitor I can find is like 800 USD. The best company doing it right now starts at $15,000 USD. That's an investment. But golfers don't fuck around. Golf is an expensive hobby, and if you're trying to make it like to the fucking, like, if you're trying to make it to PGA, that's the kind of investments you need to make, right? I know people who were super into golf and they golfed in tournaments, and that kind of shit wasn't around. They just kind of hand bombed it the whole way through. Do you golf often, Arrow? Like, is this a big hobby of yours? The deck is impressive, though, I won't lie. 100%. Now, we're gonna go to this missile behavior script. And void on trigger enter. If other dot layer game object dot layer is equals enemy unit. Huh? As you make contact with the ball, it takes photos. So not only do you get the data in numbers like speeds, heights, and angles, you get photos of where the club made contact with the ball. Just kind of blows my mind where technology is sometimes. Some of it makes me roll my eyes, but some of it is very cool. 100%. 100%. So, like, there's a lot of things where it's like, why are we investing so much money into this silly little idea? Like, why would you want to do that? But It's laying the groundwork, right? Behind every program that is made, there's learning. And yeah, it's super cool. I love technology. It says right in my bio, I love talking about technology. I'm a little bit of a yapper though sometimes. Maybe that's why streaming is good for me. People use drones to clean the ocean and bodies of water. Very cool stuff. That's the kind of shit we need. Removing pollution from the ocean through technology, like drones, is revolutionary. And think about it right now, a lot of those drones are probably manually controlled. But as soon as you can program that drone to operate autonomously, it goes, collects garbage, cleans the ocean, comes back, offloads, and charges. And then it goes out and does the same thing over and over and over again. That kind of innovation will save the world. Dude, imagine having this and organized drones out there cleaning things up. Yes, and not only the ocean, our cities too. You go to cities and it's filthy. There's garbage on the ground. People leave their garbage bags right on the sidewalk. Think about having a fleet of robots that collect garbage. They don't need to be like human robots. They can be like little things that roll around on wheels, but it's like a Roomba. It's like a super advanced Roomba. Moral issue there. Of course. Of course. We'll become lazier if drones clean up after us. Yes, we will become lazier. But lazy isn't always bad. There is a saying in tech, the best programmers are lazy. The best programmers are lazy because if they don't want to do something over and over and over again, or they want to make their job easier, they'll make something that makes their life easier and does it for them. So they can better allocate their time to do something else. Are you lazy? Yes. I think of myself as a little lazy. Okay, let me ask it this way then. Forget lazy. Okay, sure. I do think I'm a little lazy. In some ways. But I also think that compared to some other people I know, I am a little insatiable. If that makes sense. I expect better from myself all the time. Man, are you new to Unity? Somewhat. I've used Unity a fair amount, but I've never made like a big project or anything beyond like, oh, I'm moving my box around and following a tutorial. Like making shit outside of tutorials is fairly new to me, but I will learn over time. That's the way this all works. Want some tips? Yes. Yes, please. Part of the reason why I started this channel was A, so I could remain accountable to working on my projects, but also so people who know more than me can teach me how to be better. That's something I never had in my job because I was the only programmer. So I've never learned from people who know more than me. I am all for that. I want to build a community where people can connect with people who know more than them. Depending on depending on what other things you can shoot with your projectile, it might be good to add a general health component, damageable.cs. It will deal with damage to anything with that component. Can you press play in editor? That's a good idea, Alien Pope. That's a very good idea, whether it's a barrel or an enemy. BRB phone is dead and I didn't realize it. No worries. That's a good idea. I'm gonna do that. Can I press play in the editor? Yes. Here we are. Is this a little too close for my beans to follow me? Go to preferences. Okay. Preferences. Editor. Sorry, colors. Okay. Yep, already there. Change play mode tint to this. Okay. Let's see. Hexadecimal. F5C162. Okay. I think I kind of get what you're coming at. Ah, I understand. Just so it's easier to recognize that, okay, you're in play mode. You're in play mode. Don't forget. Good idea. Thank you for the tip. Let's go back to our scripts. Create script damageable. Is that how you spell damageable? Yeah. That's how we're gonna spell it. And in here, we don't need these. You can make a hitbox class as a component, but you could also use an interface depending on your use case. I think it might make more sense to do it as an interface, because then I can go into my base enemy class, and I think actually in my combat entity class I do have I actually don't. I have a function, take damage. Let's remove it from there. Let's move that to our damageable class. I think a hitbox component is more versatile. Okay, tell me more. How do you think a hitbox component differs from a collider? The damageable class would work as a hitbox component, unless I misunderstand. Yeah, same thing. You know what? I think actually it makes more sense to have it as a class and not an interface, because then you can attach it as a component, right? Whereas with an interface, we'd be going into like our base enemy class, and we'd be saying, oh, it inherits from I enemy and it interfaces from I damageable, blah, 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 all that stuff. And I feel like that's kind of a dependency nightmare. Sure, yeah, just leave it as a component. let's go to our damageable. Now, I'd probably have my health here. This would not be a float, this would be an int. Int private int health. And we're gonna do this thing. Get private set. Nope. That's how you do it. The damageable would have the health. The character controller would have the reference to the damageable. Yeah. You could use both as an interface and a hitbox too. Interface on receiving class, the unit, and the hitbox as a component. This is true, but for my monkey dumb little brain, that's a little complicated. That way, anything with a damageable has health by default. Yes, and if it's something that like a barrel, for instance, where you want it to die in one hit, it just has one health. It's done. And we're gonna set this to a exactly. We're gonna set this to have a default value of 1. So we don't get any null shit going on. This dot health minus equals amount. And it might even make sense to let's do another one here. Heal damage. Because we're gonna want healers. I was wondering if I wanted that die function here, but yeah, I got it. If this dot, I probably don't need to do this dot health. Probably just be health. And for now, the die function is just going to destroy this dot game object. Thank you. That would have caused me frustration earlier. Thank you, Gandalf. Give me just a second here. Oh shoot, wait a minute, I need to send an email. Oi, 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 oi. Ah. Hold on. I need to send an email. Bear with me. Boom. Meant to send an email before I started the stream and totally didn't. But here we are. Okay, now let's do some testing here. And we're actually going to go back to our combat entity class and remove the die function from there. We're going to go to our base enemy. We're going to remove this take damage function here. We're going to remove this die function from here. Let's private damageable. Game object dot get hold on. Damageable. Oh my goodness. We're going to take this rather and put it in our awake function. So we have that on our enemy. Now we need it on our ally. And in the awake function, okay, now we're going to go to our, we're going to attach this to our player prefab. We're going to attach it to our ally prefab. I like that you have pre-prepared for a lot of your code to be extended upon. I think I have. I don't know a lot of best practices is the problem. Like, I don't know how to avoid spaghetti code and like protected virtual void is what I mean. Yeah. To be fair, ChatGPT has helped me a fair amount along this journey, but I actually haven't even used it today. Nice. Pat on the back, me. The enemy is not a prefab yet. Let's give it the damageable class. Let's drag it into our prefabs folder. Boom. Now, why is that not serializing? Am I crazy? Serialize field, private in help. I don't need private. Let's just get rid of that. And these are going to be public functions, actually. I have decided that today I won't be going to my stand-up at my job because I've done my last task. I am free. So why is this serialized field not appearing in my editor? If we, like, this looks fine to me. If we go back into our editor, this damageable script right here should have a thing with it, no? You're gonna stand up your stand up. Indeed, there we go. Would either of you have any idea why my... Ah, thank you. I need to make that a little bit better. So we got our serialized field in health. Yeah. That was my thought too. Maybe. What? is this one. Boom, there we go. There's just compiler errors. There was compiler errors, so it was screaming at me. That makes sense, indeed. Now, I have this missile. Go to my assets, prefabs, missile. This is a trigger, and on trigger enter, I want to detect if this is damageable. But I want this to be able to be expanded upon, so ranged enemies, should they be a thing, can also shoot their own missiles back. In the future, maybe. So, on trigger enter, we would check to see if the component it is colliding with, if the game object it is colliding with, has the damageable class. And I want this to be able to pass through my allies, but also hit my enemy. Because friendly fire is not going to be a thing here. So maybe what I can do is in my missile controller, go my scripts, missile controller, we would have something like I don't need this comment. In here, I could have something like private game object, and we would have parent. Jovnar, good morning. How's the work going? It's going really well. It's going really, really well. We're making some good progress. Right now, we're working on making our missiles collide with enemies and deal damage to them, but not collide with my allied units. Parent object or origin object, something like that. I'm thinking parent object. So then if we go into our character controller where we are creating these missiles, I don't know why that's there. I don't need that. I also don't need this debug statement anymore. Missile dot we're gonna make this a public variable. I have an idea here. I'm gonna go into our character controller now. Missile.parent equals game object. No, this. Dot game object. No. Since you still want the missile to hit walls, using a friendly projectile layer and an enemy projectile layer could solve it. The friendly projectile layer can hit walls and enemies. Enemy projectiles can hit walls and friendlies. That's kind of what I'm thinking. But what I'm also thinking is that we Hold on. Oh, I know what the issue is here. I'll figure it out in a second here, but I'm unwrapping what you're talking about. My idea here is that we have these missiles, and as we instantiate them, we are going to, in this variable, we're going to say, okay, this is the game object that created this. And from there we can determine, okay, this is a hostile missile, this is a friendly missile. And then we can, from there, we can say, okay, if it's a friendly missile, then it collides with these layers, right? It can collide with environment layers, and if it's a hostile missile, it can collide with environment layers and ally layers, and for ally layers, hostile layers, or for ally missiles, hostile layers. Does that make sense? Would that be an efficient way of handling this, I wonder? How are you doing, Jovenar? The physics setting grid will be able to do this for you if the layer on the projectiles is set correctly in their prefabs. I know which grid you're referring to. I'm unwrapping that for a second. I want to use the same prefab. I don't want to create a prefab for ally missiles and enemy missiles. I want to keep it all in the same prefab. And who knows, maybe in the future I may change my mind entirely and be like, I actually want this to be an interface because I want this kind of missile and that kind of missile, and I probably will. So now we're gonna go into our character controller. This is going to be a no beam object missile. Missile controller missile dot get component missile controller. Let's see. Parent object. Okay, getting somewhere. The brain juices are flowing, and we're not even using AI to help us. Into the missile controller. On trigger enter. If no, let's do parent object dot get dot layer it's an int. because there's layer numbers. Dot layer equals layer mask dot name to layer ally unit so we're saying if the parent object is an ally unit, then if other dot game object no other dot game object dot layer enemy unit other dot game object dot get component damageable dot take damage let's do this. Serialize field int damage equals 1. And then we take this and we are going to else if, and then we are going to, after we deal damage, destroy this.game object. We don't need this.game object though, we can just do game object. But now this is going to be Is this approach making sense? Is there a better way to do this? This should work. I agree. I think it should work, but I feel like it's not efficient. There's probably better ways, but this will do. Yes. Okay. So this guy, we're gonna get out of our prefab. I would save the layers on private variables though. Yes, just so we don't have magic strings. I'm gonna test if this works, and if it works, I'm gonna do that. You get more leeway when you're prototyping, 100%. And I've heard there is no right way to make a video game, right? So this passes through an ally. Oh, I can make those missiles faster for sure. Boom. We've done it. The right way is the one that you will make you finish the video game. 100%. Woo in fucking deed. Great work, team. Okay. Let's do this. Private layer mask ally layer equals layer mask name to layer ally unit enemy unit and that's looking way cleaner. I'm just going to do one more test to see if that works, which it should. Oh. I see. Can I do that? No. Okay, that's fine. Well, what we'll do is we'll do this. Throw it in our await function. Oh, my headphones are gonna die. And it passes through these guys. We have frickin' done it. Okay. Let's see. Git branch. Git status. Git add. Git push origin projectile hit detection. checkout main. Get full origin projectile hit detection. Push origin main. Okay. Now, what now? I think that the next step is gonna be... Oh, game's done. Indeed, we're done here. Ship it? No, 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 no. We can't ship it without doing marketing, Alien Pope. It's time for our Steam page. Oh, right, of course. We need to make a launch trailer, and we need to just pray that all the money comes rolling in. I think that now... You know, I could do something like making different ally unit types, but I think it's time we start getting into some fun procedural generation stuff. What do you think? What's the next task here? Oh, wait a minute, actually. If I go to environment, cube. So environment is set to is an empty game object that has, I wanted working fighting, so I'm happy with whatever from this point. Good to know. I have a question. If I have this empty game object environment on a layer environment, and I don't change any of these, will they also be on the environment layer, technically? Ah, boom, right there. Do you want to set layer to environment for all child objects as well? Yes, change children. Okay, well that was easy. Oh, ad break, I'm so sorry. I'm going to go make a coffee with this opportunity. All right. I have returned. Me too. Apple juice in hand and ready. Very nice. Alien is how widely spoken is English in Sweden? Is it like everybody knows English, or is it more like some people do? Because I would love to visit, but that's one of my biggest concerns is that I will not be able to communicate at all. Most people know English, and most of those are good at it. Okay, good to know. Um, yeah, I've always wanted to visit Scandinavia, and yeah, I've always wanted to visit Scandinavia, but language has always been a concern for me because Scandinavian languages are intimidating. I'm also married to an American, so my English might be a little better, but if you were to visit, you'd be fine talking to anyone. Nice. Very cool. I also do speak Spanish, so I feel like in Europe, being able to speak at least two languages is a big plus. Okay. Now we are going to do. I think you'd have better luck with English compared to Spanish. Totally, totally, totally. But like, if I were to go to say Portugal or uh, what's another country in Western Europe, Belgium or something like that. English I'll probably be able to get by with, but Spanish, because it's in such close proximity, it's probably similar. Yeah, I would love to visit all of Europe, really. I don't think there's a single European country I wouldn't want to visit. I have countries on in Europe that are like closer to the bottom of my list, but I'd go. Sure, and if you ever come by Malmo, hit me up. 100%, 100%. It'll be a while until I go to Sweden. I have been traveling a lot in Asia lately just because my wife is from Hong Kong. So, bucket list item for me, visit every safe Asian country. And you know what? Visit every European country. Let's throw it on there too. Being European, would you say that there are some countries in Europe that you would consider unsafe? We are going to start doing procedural generation. That's our next thing. Not really. The only risk is that some countries have more scammers than others. Yeah, fair enough. And I know that there's a lot of right now at least um with all of the war stuff going on, all over the world, not just the Ukraine-Russian war. There's a lot of tension. Um, there's a lot of tension regarding like asylum seekers and whatnot. But as a traveler, I'm not concerned. We're gonna do procedural generation now. And let's update our current task notes. Your Canadian passport is a privilege for sure. Yes. Yes, I have recently come to recognize just how privileged I am in that regard. Like my wife just recently got her Canadian citizenship, and for a while it was like, "Oh, well we want to go to Seattle in the States. Well, you got to get a visa because if you want to cross the border, you need to be like you can't do that if you're from Hong Kong. You need to apply for the process, wait for the visa approval. Whereas for Canadians, you can say, oh, I'm going to go take a trip over to Seattle. I'll be back in a bit. So, I'm excited. I'm excited to travel more. It'll be a little while until I travel. Just because. Less income now. But, I'd love to. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my biggest joys in life, seeing other places in the world. Okay. How are we doing this? We're gonna go to our scripts, and we're gonna create a new script right here. And this is gonna be perlin.cs. Now, this is this is a boss fight. Because this isn't just basic, oh, colliders, instantiating, moving shit around. This is algorithms. A question for you. As a Canadian, there's a pretense that all Canadians are super friendly and nice, and in my experience that has been true. I know a couple Canadians and they're the nicest, but living in Canada, how much does that hold up? Generally, I'd say we're a pretty friendly bunch, eh? Like, everywhere you go, you're gonna get some bad apples, but generally for the most part, like, we're pretty fucking nice, eh? No, in all reality, I do think that we are nice people here. Um, I do think that we are nice people. We are polite, we are humble. That's critical because like I'm not shitting on the States. Don't get me wrong. But whenever I go to America, ego is a really big thing. People I find in America are not humble. It's very much so we're from the greatest country on this planet. You need to bow down and grovel to the States. A lot of people feel that way, and a lot of people don't in America, but that same kind of mentality is there, right? Whereas in Canada, it's like, oh, don't mind us. We're just here. We're up north in the freezing cold, just minding our own, doing our own little innovations and little projects. Like there was a prime minister in Canada decades and decades ago who um, at that time, the Canadian military was developing one of the most advanced missiles in the world, and we scrapped the idea. It's like, look, we don't want to be warmongers. We want to be our own little people and be humble, right? We don't need to be known for creating this giant death machine. We just want to make our things. But like everywhere, you do have bad apples. We do have bad apples. You will run into the average person who's just a straight up dickhead and hoser, eh? But it's like that everywhere. Like when I went to Japan, I did not run into a single rude person except for one. And there was no yelling or screaming at people by Japanese people. The only people that we saw that were yelling and screaming and making a big fuss were other people from other countries. I'm not going to say like what countries because I don't want to put labels on countries, even though I just did with the States. But I've been to Japan too. They're extremely polite. It was almost eerie. 100%. 100%. Like at a lot of restaurants that we went to, there'd be like a little bell or a button you'd press that would make a noise, just so you can get like your server's attention. And normally in Canada, right, some places have this. It'd be a little button that you'd press to get attention from a server, and you'd press it in Canada, and they wait around for a little while, or they're busy doing other stuff, and they come by in a couple minutes. But in Japan, it's different. You ring this bell, you press the button, and immediately it's like, hi, and they start coming your way, and they're like immediately helping you. Service is taken to the highest level I found there, and it was eye-opening. Such a friendly place. Perlin noise. How are we gonna do this? I ask myself that question most every day. Wait a minute, did they add Perlin noise right into the documentation? Float. Returns a value between 0 and 1. Return might be slightly below 0 or beyond 1. Oh, well that's weird. Why? Description. Generate a 2D Perlin noise. Perlin noise is made up of a pseudo-random pattern of float values generated across a 2D plane. Although the technique does generalize to 3 or more dimensions, this is not implemented in Unity. I'm not well versed in procedural generation stuff, so I might not be much help. That's okay. That's okay. It's a learning experience for everyone here. Okay. I think what we're gonna do is we are going to we're gonna go over here, and we are going to create a 3D object, terrain. Ah, shit. Okay. Let's take our terrain, shove it off that way a little bit. Actually, no, let's do this a different way. Terrain, delete. we're going to take our player and our environment, our pseudo machine camera, all of our ally units, and our enemy. We're going to move it that way. And then we are going to go to our 3D object, terrain. I think I may have just wasted some time, but big deal. Materials mode, foliage mode, neighbor terrains mode, and terrain tools. Okay. Well. How can I apply Perlin noise to terrain? I've done this before in a prototype on my laptop while I was on vacation, but it was very inefficient. So right now, what I'm looking at is this, right? I'm looking at this, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking this image, or something similar to it at least. We're going to generate this kind of image on the fly, and we're going to use this as a height map on our terrain. And that's going to create like hills and stuff like that. But I also want to create like roads and all that stuff, which is going to be different. Let's do this. You know what? It might be time to turn to ChatGPT. What's the temperature right now in Sweden? Do you have a lot of snow? So, about that. Okay. Actually, we're not going to call this Perlin. Growing up here, it used to be a lot of snow every winter. Nowadays, there's barely any snow in winter. It snowed maybe twice this winter. That's global warming. In my city, we used to get snow pretty consistently every winter. Sometimes we would get like half a foot of snow. Sometimes we get 3 feet of snow, but it would snow without fail every year. And now we will get one big snowfall every year, and that's it. In the rest of Canada, you pretty much get snow. You get snow for months of the year as you go further inland, but I'm right along the west coast, so it's warmer here. Yeah. Fucking hell, I was saying to my wife, like, early December, I was like, I want it to snow. I really want it to snow. I want to see the snow. I want to wrap up under blankets, look out the window, see the snow falling, wrap up with some hot chocolate, and watch a movie. That's all I want. And it wasn't snowing. It wasn't snowing. December rolls by. It still wasn't snowing. I was like, okay, well, I hope we get a little bit of snow in January. And I like snow and I miss it. Yeah. January rolls around, and I really hope it snows in January. If it doesn't snow in January, it's not going to happen at all. And then, still no snow. There was no snow in the forecast for like 2 weeks out in the middle of January. And I left for my vacation on January 28th. We left. We were on the plane. We landed in Hong Kong, and immediately I get a weather forecast alert. Snowfall warning. I'm like, fuck me, are you joking? And apparently it snowed like several feet. I missed the only snowfall of the year in my city. I was so upset. Dang. Dang indeed. We're not gonna have Perlin. We're gonna delete this. And we are going to make a different one. We are going to create a new model behavior script. We're going to call this terrain generator. So, what is the size of this terrain? How can I tell? Terrain width and length and height is 1,000. That's a little too big. Where is it? Let's do 256 for now. That's fine. Just for the sake of prototyping. Now, let's go into our terrain generator. And let's do this. Serialize field. Int width equals 6. We're gonna take this, we're gonna do height. And we're not gonna do this actually, we're gonna do int, it's gonna be a float. Scale equals 20f. And this is gonna control just how stretched out it is. So if it's quite small, it's gonna be very, very spiky. But if it's large, it's going to spread it out a little bit, make it a little bit more hilly regions. That's kind of my thoughts. Serialize field float. Height. That's not spelled float. Height multiplier equals, let's say 10f. And this is going to make it so our peaks are higher. Whereas scale is going to make it like spikier. The height multiplier is going to make our hills roll higher. It's instead of being like a rolling hill, it's a little bit more of a mountain. It's kind of my thoughts. Now we're going to need a reference to our terrain. So private terrain. And let's get rid of this comment. We know what it does. I'm a little hungry. I'll probably wrap the stream up shortly here, so I can paying close attention. I want to learn this stuff too. That's what this is all about. It's about learning, right? And it's the community I want to foster. We are going to, in our start function, terrain equals get component terrain. Bear in mind, in another monitor, I have ChatGPT open. I'm not some genius. I am a monkey. And now we don't need an update function. But what we do need is we're going to need a void generate terrain. And then we got terrain data. Terrain data equals terrain. That's okay. I've used it a couple times too, although more often than not, it has given me code that I don't like, so I'm using it very rarely. That's one of the things. Have you ever seen those things that people do where it's like, oh, give me a picture of a smart rabbit, and then it generates a picture of a rabbit with like some glasses or something like that. And then people just keep asking, make it smarter. And then this rabbit goes from like holding a clipboard and glasses to like sitting at a desk and it has like glasses on and there's a computer and stuff like that. Make it smarter. And then this thing is like at a chalkboard, it's writing shit. And if you keep asking, make it right, or eventually it like transcends humanity and reality. It's like an all intelligent being. It's crazy. Unity has their own AI that is better versed in Unity specific stuff. Really? Like they have their own sort of like Copilot coding tool? Terrain data dot height map resolution equals width plus 1. Why are we doing that? That's what I want to know. Unity Muse. I think it's behind a paywall though. You were a beta tester. What was your experience with it? Was it useful? Did it actually really help, or not really? But honestly, for stuff like AI, I feel like you do really need a paywall because it's so expensive to maintain the infrastructure. It was better than GPT. Fair enough. As it would, it's more fine-tuned to the Unity ecosystem. And now we're gonna do float. What is that syntax? Heights equals generate height map. Well, we're gonna need a function for that. Void generate height map. It's not void. It is float. What is that syntax? Okay, so now what we're gonna do is float heights equals new float with height. For int y equals 0. Y is less than height. Y plus. Float x coordinate is float x divided by width times scale. Oh, wait, I need outer loop. Wait, what? Huh? Invalid expression term float. Is this a typo? Am I going crazy? Float y coordinate equals... Ah, no, I know what's going on. That's not how you cast. Casting x to a float. Float divided by height times scale. Huh? Why is this? Is there an extra space somewhere? Oh no, height. More letters. Load sample equals math f dot Berlin noise x coordinate y coordinate heights at x and y sample. And Then after we're done all these for loops, we return heights. Oh, okay, this indicates a 2D array. Makes sense. Now here we're gonna go terrain data dot set heights 0, heights. So the base value is going to be 0, and then we're okay. I think I got it. And in start, we're going to generate terrain. Okay. Now, let's close this off. And on our terrain, we're going to attach the terrain generator. And if we hit play, in theory, this should go for it. Boom! Look at that! Wow. I am blown away. Massive victories this session. Okay. Well, we've been at it for some time now. Almost 3 hours, and it's been a very productive day. I am going to call it here for now. The next thing that I want to do with this is make it bigger so that our beans can actually walk on this and walk for a ways in one direction. And maybe make some roads that wind through it. Actually, if I hit play again, will this apply a different terrain? No. Interesting. Well, okay, we're gonna do a get status add limit. Very exciting to see all the victories. Indeed, I'm super pleased with how this is going, and it's actually moving much faster than I thought it would. Implemented basic procedural terrain generation. Push origin procedural terrain generation. Get checkout main. Get example, origin, procedural terrain generation, push, origin, main. All right. With that said, with that all done, I'm going to finish the stream here so I can eat some food and do some preparation for a discussion I'm going to have with my bosses. And I might kick up the stream when that is done. But thank you for hanging around, everybody who's here, and thank you, Gandalf, for all of your help. Who shall we raid today? You're welcome, Gandalf. I just raided Crispy yesterday. Okay. I'm going to raid Bingus TV because he's hung out in here a fair amount and he's just chatting. Let's send you all there. Thank you for hanging around and for all of your help. I will see you all in maybe a few hours if you decide to come back. Goodbye.